Hi, everybody. I hope you and yours are well, and I hope in this heat wave in Los Angeles you're drinking a lot of water. It's interesting. The Torah is compared to water, and just like water is essential for the physical, the Torah is essential for our spiritual well-being. So keep on drinking a lot of H2O for the body and Torah for your soul. The holidays are coming, and one of the things that we say is that the Almighty makes a din v'cheshbon, a judgment and calculation. And the commentaries discuss several different ways. Why is it called din v'cheshbon, judgment and calculation? Usually it should be the other way. First there's a calculation, what did we do, and this is the final judgment. I'd like to share one of many interesting answers to this question. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Shoftim, though. Shoftim deals with judges, the importance of having Jewish judges and Jewish courts to rule on Jewish law and on interpersonal relationships. We should go to a Jewish court rather than a secular court. And the judges must judge fairly and not take bribes and be honest. Very important idea. Now, the way it says it in the Torah, it says, Shoftim v'shoftim titim b'chol sha'arecha. You should put in all your gates, referring to the cities, that every city should have a Jewish judicial system. But the Hasidic masters tell us something insightful, that it also means on our personal gates, our eyes, our mouth, our ears, we should put judges there to be careful on what we see, what we hear, and what we say. Now let's take it a step further. We are all judgmental of people all the time. And many times, unfortunately, we don't judge favorably, and that's very important to judge favorably. There's a story about a great rabbi who walks into a wedding hall, and the host of the wedding, the father of the groom, turns to him and says, "No one called you here." And the rabbi walked out and left. And the man overheard this and was appalled. How could you say this to this rabbi? No one called you here. And finally he got up the gumption to go over to him and said, "I don't understand. How did you insult this rabbi? He came to the wedding and you said no one called you here?" The man looks and says, "I don't know what you're talking about." He says, "You tell them no one called you here." He says, "Oh boy, you misunderstood the whole story. What happened was, I was in a store and I couldn't find my phone. And it's the day of the wedding, I have a lot of errands to do, and this great rabbi was there and overheard that I lost my phone. He says, 'You know what? Take my phone and I'll come to the wedding to pick it up.'" He was very gracious and kind. So when he came to the wedding, I gave him back his phone. I said, "No one called you here," meaning to say that you didn't get any calls. There were no messages. I just used the phone for what I needed, and you didn't get any calls. So many times we just look at a situation, we think we know exactly what happened, and we really, really don't. And another aspect of it is, even if the other person is doing something wrong, we need to understand that maybe we don't understand the circumstances, or maybe if we were in their shoes, we would look at things differently. It's easy to judge from the outside when you're not in their position. They say the famous vaudeville comedian W.C. Fields, he always used to make fun of Philadelphia. And that was one of his taglines, if you will. And supposedly that when he passed away, he asked them to put on his tombstone, "I'd rather be in Philadelphia." And what's the insight? The insight is, it's obviously funny, but the insight is, Philadelphia is terrible, but once I'm in a different circumstance, all of a sudden Philadelphia is looking really good. So we need to understand that we have to try to judge people favorably and understand, even if if we know for sure they're doing something wrong, maybe if we were in their circumstance, we would do things differently. So one of the great commentaries explains that din, judgment, is based upon how we judge somebody else in the circumstances of the things we did. Were we gracious? Did we judge favorably? Did we give the person the benefit of the doubt? Did we say, "I don't understand the whole picture, but I'm missing some part"? our judgment is going to be based upon how we judge somebody else in the same circumstance. So we have to be careful. As the season of the high holidays is coming upon us, we should start looking, put our judges by our eyes and ears and mouth, and look carefully and judge favorably people. Because actually, we're not only looking at them favorably, we're looking at ourselves favorably. Because ultimately, how we judge others is how we're going to be judged. And if we're gracious and kind and give people the benefit of the doubt, then the Almighty will do the same to us as well. So have a wonderful Shabbos, Parshat Shoftim, learn well. Again, always open to comments, questions, and thoughts. Please let us know what you think. Have a wonderful, great Shabbos. Take care.